Hey everyone, a nerd named Mark here, and it is time for me to review episode 4 of Kamen Rider Nago. That's right, I'm not calling it Kamen Rider Geats for this episode because Nago stole the show. Neon was just, the character development. So good. We had so many good moments revolving around her character, and it's a breath of fresh air. So, just jump into like some plot points, everything that happened in this. By the way, spoilers. If you weren't aware, I'm going to say spoilers. Just like the previous episode, we start off the episode with Kawa recording another video diary, this time addressing it to his sister. If I'm gone, you find this. Like, he's kind of almost like a he's chronologically like logging everything that's going on, and I guess it's a roundabout way, not breaking the rules because he's not telling people about it. We also find out Neon, she collapses in the hallway. The infection is getting to her, and we see a quick clip of her mom looking at a computer screen. It says lost signal. So her mom, obviously, because she runs away so much, and I don't know what they do, honestly. I don't know what her parents do. They've been tracking her via GPS. So with, the Nago and Japan being infected, we see Buffa tying him up. Azuma as his name. I always forget Japan's name right now. Everyone else's names I know except for Mary and Japan. I keep forgetting it. They're tying him up, and they lure Neon over to tie her up as well because they didn't want to, risk being infected, and they're gonna wait till they turn and take them out for points. And I'm like, that works. I'm okay with this. We got a hint because there's some heated moments in this scene. Buffa henshins, and I thought we were gonna see Geats and Buffa like face to face showdown, but Kawa actually henshins and gets in his face, and once again they are reminded participants cannot attack each other. It's a disqualification. It's prohibited. Not allowed. Now we get kind of like I said, this is Neon show. This is Kamen Rider Nago episode 4. We get some somber moments of her just talking about basically how she's dealing with the fact that she's going to be infected and turning into a zombie. She's kind of almost given up at this point. She talks about how, in a direct quote, "I thought I wanted to run away from home and never return, but now that I might die, I can't stop thinking about going back." And I was like, oh, they're really playing up that this could be her final episode. Like, she could be eliminated, she could die, she could turn into a zombie. And I'm like, okay, but it's Neon's show. Like, okay, it's her show now. She can't be, in fact, she can't die, she can't be eliminated. And like, I just love how much character development we're getting for her and everyone else too. Like Ace, yes, there's that air of mystery still, but they're really building up these side characters. Kawa and Neon are really they're stealing the show right now. It's almost like it's their show, and Ace is just that big star you pay for the cameo, and everyone goes, oh my god, it's him. That's kind of what it's seeming like right now, but I know once we do get more of that layers of Ace peeled back, it's gonna be worth the wait. Now that we got all that, everyone's back in the lounge chilling, and we get more build up to everyone as a whole, like just especially everything's through Kawa's eyes to an extent. Like, he's bringing up, is this worth dying for our desires, this and that, but it really shows the gravity of the situation, what you're willing to sacrifice. Are you willing to put everything on the line, including your life, to get that one thing you desire, the one thing you wish for more than anything in the world? And even Azuma brings up it has to be worth risking your life to get what you really truly want. And I'm like, that this whole, regardless of what everyone's motivation is, they all have the same level of dedication, and everyone's putting the same thing on the line to get what they desire. And I really like that. And even though it was like a quick little scene, that was like, it just shows the depth and the gravity of the situation. Then obviously Senor Butler comes out and says, hey, it's gonna be a little delay until the next round, why don't you go home? And I was like, oh cool, we're gonna get more of their civilian lives outside of the Desire Grand Prix, which I'm really enjoying. That side of the show is seeing when they're not in the lounge or in the game and in the rounds, like how they are. We get more Neon stuff, and Neon's just sitting there bodyguards show up again, and she's like figuring out, she's like, I'm not even streaming. And the funny thing is, she checks her phone, all her videos are deleted. And I was like, oh, you got hit with a strike by Toei also? Because listen, I understand how that goes, okay? So after she realized all her Toei strikes hit, she comes to realization they're tracking her phone. And right when she gets home, she walks right up to her mom, confronting her, and we get a Kamen Rider slap. And I know it's not a thing. Usually it's a Rider kick, a Rider punch. Now we get the Kamen Rider slap. And this shows the control, the depth, of character, how, you know, under the thumb of her parents Nan is. And we get a flashback where basically as a child she was kidnapped and held for ransom for $300 million, because I still don't know what her parents do, honestly. It might have happened, it might have been something that was a throwaway line, maybe in the first or second episode. I'm not 100% sure. I may have overlooked it. So if it's already been explained, please let me know in the comments below, because I really don't know what her parents do. But I really like this, like the more depth we're getting to Nan's character, which is why I'm like, they can't get rid of her in this episode. She can't die or be eliminated. Not yet. We're getting too much good storytelling and character development. So obviously Nan, I think this is going to be her 51st escape, because she escaped the house again, and right outside, and she kind of falls over, and right outside is Ace and Keiwa. And I'm really curious as to why Ace was there, until it points out that Keiwa was, you know, trying to, you know, see if she's okay and this and that, and Ace is just there for the points for when she turns. And I was like, this is great. Keiwa hit her with some nice guy lines, and she just flat out says, listen, being nice and saying kind things doesn't always help. And I'm like, facts. And then we jump up, and the third wave has started once again, because it's zombies. It's destroy all zombies to get points, and that's it. And we get some cool henshin for like sequences where, you know, Keiwa and Ace jump off the building, the henshin, which I thought was pretty cool. Everyone's fighting around this and that, and, you know, Ace sees that Buffa's using the Magnum raised buckle and questions it, and he said, you know, wouldn't you like to know? And they just are off, you know, fighting. And we get what I like to think is one of the funniest scenes of the show so far. Mary was leading zombies to civilians, because let's face it, you save civilians, you get bonus points, and then you also get the points for taking out the zombies. And he leads them over to the people, and then he just comes in with his superhero pose, like, don't worry, I'll save you, and just struggles to beat them. And it took a lot longer than he expected. But that scene, I was cracking up. I was like, I actually paused it because I was laughing, and I was laughing at how ridiculous it was. And I'm like, wait, I'm gonna miss subtitles, let me pause really quick, get it out of my system, and continue to watch that. But then right as he's done with that, Mary gets attacked off camera. Everyone runs over. We find out Japan is actually, like, you know, biting his abdomen and this and that, trying to infect him. And we realize now that Japan, helping Buffa win, is going to just infect everyone else, because he thinks once you're infected, you're basically done. But we know that's not the case, because you haven't turned into a zombie yet. So that's why, you know, Ace was waiting. He's like, I'll wait so I can get the points, because you're not technically a zombie yet. You're still a participant. He goes on this big spiel about how you're going to lose this and that. And then we get the, you know, I'm not going to give up just yet. And we see Nan on top of a building. And we get my favorite henshin so far of the season, as she runs off the building, does a, you know, side cartwheel type deal off the ledge. Henshins, camera pans down. You're honestly, I'm saying it, but you're seeing it on the screen right now. And she just starts wrecking house, because she remembers now, always aim for the head, because last episode she was kicking him, hitting him in the chest. That's not doing anything. Okay, so that was some of like the coolest sequences, and her attacks looked so clean. And then we get a flashback really quick of Ace explaining to Neon and Keiwa that the damage and penalties are reset after each game, which is implying that, hey, once this game is over, if you're infected and you hold out and don't turn into a zombie, you're back to normal when it's over, which is something I was curious about in the last episode. Because, like, if they're just playing a game, if it's no longer zombies and you're infected and the round's over, do you stay infected carrying into the next game? How does this work? So now we know everything, any penalties or status effects are reset after every game. Not round, but game, since this is round 3 and the final one. So all she has to do is hold out. And then we also get a part of that is Kawa hands in that flashback. Kawa gives Nan the boost buckle. And once again, I'm like, damn, he's giving away this boost buckle so much, but he got tricked the first time. This time he did it because he wants Nan to get enough points to survive. And he even says that if, you know, she dies, then his sister would be really sad. And Nan replies really quick, and not you. And he says, obviously he would as well. And we get a nice little clip of Nan looking at her desire card, and it just says, I want to find true love. And then and I was like, the timing of that, are they shipping Kawa and Nan? Is that her true love? Is that going to be the hook right now? Is that what we're going to get? Because I was like, you know what, I'm okay with that. Now we show Nago with the boost raised buckle and the hammer. So she got the boost armed hammer form. It looks badass, and she just starts once again fighting all the zombies. She's doing co-op ones. Kawa's launching her across buildings, and then we have you know, she starts to get, you know, the infection starts to kick in. She falls down again. She starts stumbling. Japan goes in for the attack. Kawa makes the save, and then we get Ace with the zombie form. Is so cool. I loved the finish with the kick from the last episode, and now he does this weird like attack. I don't even know if I wrote down the name of it. Let's see. No, I didn't write what it was. It was like a zombie. It was basically I put zombie special move. So he puts his hand in the ground, and all these little hands come up out of the ground and hold all of the zombies in place for Nago to hit the final. So she does the revolve form, and then she gets an oversized hammer. And instantly I was like, oh man, this is Kamen Rider Ramona Flowers from freaking Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'm all for this. And then she uses her boost hammer grand victory, and the hammer gets like a rocket booster on the back of it, and she just takes everyone out. And I was like, you know what? That was badass. This is so freaking cool. And then, just as predicted, as implied, the round is now over. We don't know the standings yet, but Neon is cured of her infection. Mary is as well, because he got bit. And so isn't Japan. And then we realize the placing happens, and Japan's in last place. And Ace even points out, if he wasn't trying to, you know, go against everyone else and worried about getting his own points, he would not have been in last place, because Neon only won by like, what, 16, almost 1,800 points, like less than 2,000 points. So if he didn't do that one attack on Mary, technically, because he lost points for that, he would have actually been in 5th place. Nan would have been in 6th. And now my question is, because he's eliminated, our nice host walks over and says that, you know, because he is just, you know, he lost, he's eliminated, that he is no longer qualified to be a Kamen Rider. And I don't know, does this count as a Geats yeet? He wasn't yeeted technically by an enemy, but he was yeeted from the competition. So what I'm going to do is, it's not going to count as one yeet. Eliminations from points and standings will count as 0.5, half a yeet, so to speak. So the Geats counter is back, ta-da, and it's at 2.5. Listen, I'm grasping. I wanted the Geats counter to be used more. I didn't think we were going to lose so many in the first round, you know, first game, and be stuck with 6 and drag it out. I thought I was going to get 1 or 2 minimum yeets an episode. I've been wanting to use this again. It's been a bit. I don't think I've used it since like the 2nd episode. So I really need to use this counter. So it's at 2.5. You know, as Japan's disappearing, he said, you know, only one of you can win this, right? I can't wait to see which one of you kicks the bucket next. You know, so I'm just like, how would he know? I don't know where they go when they're eliminated or when they're yeeted. I'm so curious about this other side of the elements of the Desire Grand Prix, that I just want to know what we get when someone's yeeted. I want to know where they go. Where do these people who die go? Because they can be wished back, technically, if that's what you desire. But can you even change your wish when you actually win? Or are you stuck with what you put on the card? Does that mean if they have to do the Desire Grand Prix again, then they can modify their wish and put a new wish, because we know Ace has been testing the limits of what you can wish for. So I'm just curious. So now this is all over, everyone goes home. Nan walks right in, her mom walks up to her, goes to slap her, she does the catch of the arm. I was like, ooh, okay. And she says, you know, one day I'm gonna leave. She's, you know, basically she's like, one day I'm out, I'll leave for good. And she just goes and walks up the stairs with a little smirk on her face, and I'm like, all right, that was pretty cool. And to close everything out, we get the dude who's just watching everything. He has a new mask, by the way. I know why, but we're not going to talk about that. He reminds me, the mask reminds me of like one of the cogs from, was it Power Ranger Zeo? Kind of reminds me of that. But he sees on the screen, we see 2 clips of Geats and Buffa, and he says their showdown is approaching. And I was like, ooh, yes, it is. Please, I want to see that so bad right now. That's like on my list. I was like, I want to see Geats and Buffa fight. Like, that's going to be appealing to me. And then lastly, on the last page, we get another DGP rule on the little black splash image screen. And it says those who are eliminated from the game are disqualified from being Kamen Riders. So my curious is, so if they get eliminated or, you know, disqualified, and say someone resets everything, even the people who die in this and that, and they want them to come back, would that mean they can never come back as a Kamen Rider again, even if everything was reset from a Desire? Because technically that would reset everything. There's so many things I'm curious about right now with this show. But this was a really good episode, really strong episode. I'm curious what the next game is going to be. I didn't watch the preview for the next episode. I should have probably. Right now, another great episode. This show is really has a pacing and a stride and everything and character development that I want in a season. Like after like from a Reiwa standpoint, this right now, 4 episodes in, the consistency, the action, the story, everything, it's hitting good. I could see this easily being in a lot of people's top 5, top 10s for sure. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is another great episode. But let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode. You know, 4 episodes in, I'm like, wow, okay. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm pretty close to 800 subscribers. I think everyone who's been subscribing to the channel and liking the videos and commenting, I appreciate every single one of you. With that being said, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.